no!
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to be here with you today with Channel 23. And we're sponsored by Intrepid Potash, and we're very pleased for that. And we hear a lot of nice comments from all over this city of people who have really enjoyed the people we've interviewed because they're so pretty, especially the women. The men are pretty ugly, but you know how that goes. Anyway, we're always here to, for those of you who don't know anything about our programs, this is where you find out about people that you've never seen before. We call it the Faces of Carlsbad.
Oh no!
And you might know them, but if you don't know them, you're going to know them after this program. And today we have a very lovely lady here, Miss Tina Britton. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And don't be nervous because I want to tell you something. I have male and female cats in my house. And when we turn on Channel 23 and they see the male cats see the pretty women, they do not move from the television set. They stay there the whole time. So I know you're going to be watched by many, many people and many animals too. So anyway, let's go back a little, back in your family background, where your grandparents came from, and give us an update on your mom and dad and all your family. So we'll start with your grandparents.
My grandparents, one set of my grandparents are from Paris, Texas, and one set of my grandparents are from Hobbs, New Mexico.
Oh, they've been here a long time
Yes.
then, haven't they?
Yes,
Oh,
many
okay.
years.
And now the ones in Paris, Texas, that's close to which big city down in Texas? Is it Dallas?
It's right outside of Dallas.
Right outside of Dallas, that's what I thought.
Yes.
And were they involved in the ranching business when they came into Texas?
Yes, they were.
And what about your grandparents in the Hobbs section?
My grandparents in Hobbs, they were there for many of years. My grandfather actually passed away when my dad was 16, so I actually never met my grandfather, but my grandmother was a very hard worker, raising 6 children by herself, and just did whatever she had to do to support her children.
Yeah, I did not know my grandparents on my mother's side either because they both passed away long before I was born. And my mother was raised by her dad's sister. And that's how I knew my background. Other than that, I wouldn't have known anything. I did know my grandparents on my dad's side, but losing your grandparents is kind of tough, isn't it?
It is tough, very tough.
Well, anyway, so how did your parents meet?
My parents met in Hobbs in high school. They got married when my dad was 18 and my mom was 16, and they've been married for 54 years.
54 years?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, so they...
So many marriages today they're lucky if they last 4 years, let alone
Yes.
54 years. My gosh.
they have an awesome relationship.
Oh,
Very
that's
good.
wonderful. And
Very
they
good.
still live in Hobbs?
They live here.
They live here now?
Uh-huh. They moved here when my brother's 49, so they moved here right before he was born.
And of course, you're only 29.
Of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
So, and you were born in Carlsbad?
I was born and raised in Carlsbad.
Yeah. Tell us some interesting things about you growing up in this beautiful city.
As a young child, my parents were very active. We spent many of days at the beach and the Ski Cat Club. When I was 4 years old, I actually skied on my dad's shoulders in the ski club. When I was 6 years old, we started riding dirt bikes and water skiing, and just it's just a beautiful community. You have a lot of options.
And your dad is pretty active yet?
Yes, still active. Still ride their dirt bikes every weekend at 73 and 70 years old.
That's terrific.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. It's their
And
passion.
they still love Carlsbad?
Yes, still love Carlsbad.
What did your dad do here?
My dad worked at IMC Potash for 40 years, and my mom has Joanne's Trophies here in Carlsbad.
And that's located...
It's on South Ash, 511 South
Oh,
Ash.
yes. Okay, I know where you mean now. Yeah. I have to get straightened out because I get lost in all these streets that we have in this beautiful city.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about your school periods growing up.
In elementary school, I went to Eddy School, and you were my 5th grade teacher. Lovely school.
Yeah.
Mr. Allen was my actually favorite principal of my whole life.
Wasn't he wonderful?
He was an awesome man.
I really liked working for him.
He was just, I learned a lot of things from him.
Yeah. I remember when, of course, I was pretty strict, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
But
And
that was okay. We needed it.
We needed it. You know, of all years that I was at Eddie School, 21 years actually, I only had 2 classes, and they were boys that were the problems. Not the girls, but the boys. And that one year I failed 50% of the students in Carlsbad who failed, 50% of them were from my class. Isn't that something?
Really?
Yeah. 16 were failed that year, and 8 of them were in my class, and they were all boys because they did not want to learn. And I never had that problem with the girls. They all, with a few exceptions, they all wanted to learn. And you apparently did a good job.
Oh, thank you. You were a good teacher.
Well,
Very
that's debatable.
good.
but,
No,
but Mr. Allen was a wonderful principal.
he was very, very good.
And then Miss London came in after Mr. Allen moved to El Paso.
Yes.
And I was very, very saddened many years later to hear that he had passed away.
Yes.
And I went over to the funeral, and it's a tough thing to take when you work with somebody you really like and admire, have that happen to them.
That is true.
But anyway. So anyway, then you went to the high school, and what did you get interested in the high school?
In the high school, really I just did my basics and learned. I didn't do anything extracurricular or learn anything at that point. After high school, I went to work, and then I decided to become an EMT.
Oh.
And I did that for a few years, and I worked at WIP for 10 years, and I did my EMT through there, and then I worked in the emergency room at night after I got off at WIP.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait a minute, you worked at WIP all day long,
yes.
and then at night you would go in and work at the hospital?
Yes, I would get off at WIP at 4, I'd get home at 5, I'd go to work at the ER from 6 until midnight, come home at midnight, get up at 4, go back to work at WIP.
Did you get any sleep at all?
About 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night.
My gosh.
So
That was a terrific schedule.
that was yeah, very demanding.
Now you're married. I
I'm
trust.
married.
And where did you find your handsome husband?
I met my husband through his brothers, in which I went to school with, and then he also worked at WIP with me.
Oh, he did?
Yes, and he's still there.
He still works at WIP.
Yes.
Now, of all the jobs you had before we get into what you're doing now, which one did you enjoy the most?
Probably my favorite job was working at UPS.
Oh, UPS.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I worked there for 3 years. We just worked so well as a family and a team, and customers were just amazing, and I just really liked that job.
Now, is that the one with the white trucks or the brown?
The brown trucks.
Brown trucks. Yeah, I have a friend. His name is Ray. He's one of the drivers for.
Yes, I was just talking to Ray prior to getting here.
Is that right?
Yes.
He's a former student of mine.
Oh, he is,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know how these nice people survived me and have turned out so well. it's unbelievable. Yeah, and what was it about UPS that you enjoyed the most?
I actually liked it because from the time I got there till the time I left, I was busy.
Mm-hmm.
I never had any downtime. And just the people, the customers, the workers, the drivers, just your coworkers, we just all worked so well together, and it just made it nice.
It's a good feeling when you have a team that is united like that.
Yes.
Eddie's school was like that.
Yes.
The teachers all got along really well. I worked in a few schools where that wasn't true, but Eddie's school, the morale was terrific.
Yes. And I learned from Eddie's school. I was one of your crossing guards, and I also worked in the cafeteria, so I learned from a young age that it's important to stay busy and stay involved. And
It makes the time pass fast.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Very fast.
And you were one of those famous crossing guards.
I was. And you know, nowadays you would never send a kid to Mermod Street to be the crossing guard, because it just isn't the same world as it was when we were growing up.
The traffic is so heavy, and the dangers are so everywhere.
Yes,
In every city in this country, you have to be extremely careful.
that is true. And you taught, you guys, Eddie's school taught me a lot. It saddens me when funerals go by and people don't stop. We stopped in the playground and we're taught, put your hand over your heart, give the family respect. And these days, it just is very sad that you don't see that.
No, I know it. And I noticed every time a funeral procession went by, all of our students immediately stopped
Yes.
and faced the funeral procession with their hands over their hearts, as you said. And people would come up to us afterwards and thank us for being so polite. I thought that was nice. But it was all because of you kids who did such a good job.
But it was because you guys taught us, and that was respect for the
Yeah.
family members, and that's very important in life.
Yeah. So as the years passed on, your last job before you got involved with this was with
Curves. I owned Curves for Women for 9 years.
Curves, and what did they do?
It's an exercise facility for women only,
Oh,
and it's an awesome program.
and where is that located?
On the corner of Church and Canal, across the street from Albertsons.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's to keep women in good condition.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
them.
And too many people today don't take care of themselves, do they?
No, that is very true.
So if we can all get them into curves,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We have to do that to get them back into shape.
Yes, or at least walk, do something.
Yeah.
Do something for yourself. Everybody, today's society thinks they're too busy, but you got to give yourself 30 minutes a day to do for your health and for yourself so that you can be around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I heard that on public radio a while back that if you do a lot of sitting and you don't get much exercise, you have a 50% chance, higher chance of getting a heart attack or diabetes. Those two things will strike people who sit around too much. And we don't want that.
No. No. I want to live a long, happy life.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to enjoy my kids, my grandkids, and
Well, tell us a little bit about your family.
I'm married to my husband for 23 years. I have a daughter's 26
Oh,
and
wait
a
a minute,
son.
23. You got married at the age of 6?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to get to
I started young.
You started young, okay.
Very
Go
good.
ahead.
My daughter's 26, my son's 19, and I have a 3-year-old grandson.
Wow.
So
And
It's a lot of fun.
What schools do they attend? Well, not the 26-year-old, but
my son graduated year before last from Carlsbad High School, and he is still here working, and he's an entrepreneur like myself. He has his own businesses, and
oh, great.
my daughter works for DCP, just started Monday, and she's a very hard worker, and my wonderful grandson is just a character and a half.
Is he going to school at all yet?
No, he's just 3.
He's 3.
He's just 3, yes.
I'm sorry, I thought you said 6.
No, he's just 3.
So he's going to be a busy one.
He is going to be a busy one.
And what's his name?
His name's Braxton.
Braxton.
Uh-huh.
Where do people come up with these interesting names?
I don't know.
It's amazing because years ago they couldn't pronounce a name that was longer than 3 letters.
Exactly, and you didn't want to have to teach them to spell a name longer than 3 letters.
No, that's true. That's true. Now your husband's working for. He was working at where again?
At WHIP.
At WHIP. And all of a sudden now you've got yourselves involved in another business.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, tell me about that.
About 3 weeks ago, we decided to purchase the Blue House, and I really wanted it for a change, something to challenge myself, to stay busy. I found that's very true. They have some awesome customers, or we have some awesome customers now, and amazing people that come all the time. We've just finished road construction, so it's done, and we're really excited because we have a nice road, and it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're really modeling that road right in front of your place right now and doing a
Yes.
good job.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They have done
I
a
drove
really good job.
down part of it and I saw block signs further down the road, but that's going to be really nice. Well, some of your customers are really weird. I'm telling one of my friends, Danny Chavez. Remember? Do you know Danny
yes,
Chavez?
Danny's there every morning.
Oh, Danny is something else again.
Yes, Danny's there every morning. He's faithful and
Oh.
quite the character. My dad worked with him also at Mosaic or at IMC for years, and he's definitely got a...
Well, Danny's a very close friend of mine. I call him weird because he calls me the same thing.
Oh.
He never misses the Blue House.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
always there.
Yes, he's always there, and he told me if I'm closed, I got to leave a pot of coffee by the door and call him the day before.
That's right. Oh, that's Danny, all right. Well, what do you do in your spare time if you have any spare time?
My spare time I spend watching my grandson, and my son races dirt bikes, and I go to all his dirt biking events and spend time with my family primarily.
Where are those dirt bike things
They're
going on?
everywhere, anywhere from Dallas, Texas. This weekend we'll be in Portales. Last weekend we were in Amarillo. The weekend before that we were in El Paso.
Oh my gosh,
So-
you don't have much time to do any reading or
I do
relaxing, do you?
not. I don't. My relaxing time is riding in the car, driving over there, listening to them talk.
Listening to them talk.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. And your husband goes with you on all these journeys?
Yes, he does.
You have a very busy family.
We do. We're very busy.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, though.
Well, it keeps you active.
Yes.
It keeps you feeling good.
It does.
But you get more sleep than when you worked with that other company, then, more than 4 hours with
No,
all
I sleep about 4 hours.
Is that right?
Yes. I think because when I started at a young age, I became a night owl, and it's hard for me to go to bed early. But I'm still able to get up and go and function.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way. Well, we only have about 1 minute to go, but I wanted to tell you something that I think you're doing an excellent job, and I'm going to have to come in there with Danny. He keeps asking me, but I'm so busy walking the streets, you know, that I don't make much progress. But I'm going to make sure that I keep my eye on him the next time I'm down there.
Well, you need to.
All
Somebody
right.
needs to keep their eye on him.
Okay, good. Well, on behalf of Channel 23, Tina, I want to thank you so much. And somebody said, would you please repeat the people that you're interviewing, repeat their last name? So I'm going to repeat it again. Tina Britton. I got it right, didn't I?
You got it right.
Ordinarily, I forget names so quickly. Anyway, Tina, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
On behalf of Channel 23, everybody, goodbye and good luck. Well, anyway.